Hey there, Joe and Molly here with you today, and apparently Molly has a story she wants to tell you.
I do have a story, and I have a question for you.
Okay.
A few years ago, we were meeting on a Friday night for...
As we did many Friday nights.
Often met on a Friday night. It was something I really looked forward to. At that time, we lived about 40 miles apart, so getting together at the end of the week on Friday night was a very special thing. And I got to our favorite little wine bar before you did.
Uh-huh.
And I was sitting at the bar, having a glass of wine, working on the manuscript. We were writing our first book together. It was a perfect day. It was perfect weather, beautiful outside. The light was glorious. And it was probably about 5 o'clock in the evening. People just starting to come in. It was just a kind of a sexy place. I loved that place. The light was coming in the window when he came in the door, and he looked so handsome. He comes up to me, and I looked at him and said, and it just came out of nowhere, and I said, you look about as good as they said you'd look. So I'm really glad to meet you this evening, and why don't you have a seat and let's get to know each other? And he knew instantly that my ploy was that I was acting as though I'd hired you to meet me for the evening.
I was a gigolo. Something like that.
You knew that instantly.
Male escort. To use a nicer term.
People often say that the role-playing idea is just too far out for them. They'd be too uncomfortable. They'd be too nervous. They couldn't do it. They can't pull it off. And my question to you is, every time I've done something like that to you, it's like you take a breath and you step up to the plate and you're like, good to meet you, and how's your day going? And you go right in there and start playing, even though I know you're nervous too. So
Right.
Why are you okay? Why are you good with doing that, even though it might make you really nervous?
It does make me nervous, but I look at it this way: you're bringing this creative energy to our connection, to our date. And if I shut that down or even stifle it in any way, there's this great opportunity that's missed. And, you're really taking a risk by coming out and playing this role. And so another reason I don't want to squash that is because, you're really stepping up to do something fun. So all these reasons, it's like, nope, you just got to jump into it. You got to assume the role and go with it.
Because if you didn't, if you said, if you just laughed it off and you were nervous and you're like, I can't play that game and let's just have a drink and...
Yeah, that would just totally destroy the energy that you had brought to that evening.
That moment. And that evening, we played this game for probably 2 hours. I don't know. It went on, and it was hilarious. And it got much funnier when I realized that the couple next to us, they'd overheard some of the conversation, and they'd figured out that this woman had hired this guy for the evening, and they kept whispering to each other and looking at us, and
which actually, in a way, made it easier to play the role when they were sort of in on it with us in a way, right? By overhearing, they weren't in on it with us, but they were overhearing us, and it was like, this is what he's doing. And then it kind of really amped me up to play that role even more.
And leaving was so much fun because they were very aware that I was now going to take you home.
That's right. And I can still remember having this this energy that we'd created in the last 2 hours, and I was taking that out the door with me, and I was taking it home with you.
I really try to encourage people to be willing to go out on a limb and do this once in a while, because in a relationship, two people, after a while, it's the same two people all the time. And we got to be totally different people.
And there's something really sexy about this. You're creating a new experience with the same person, but it's actually a new person right then in that moment. So it's really fun. If this shows up for you, or you're given a chance to jump into a role, even just for a few minutes, just for fun, try it out. Don't shut it down. Don't because that's really gonna squash all the energy that's going on in that room.
And we don't want to do that.
No. We want to raise that energy up and use it. Thanks for stopping by.